right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Drug-laced candy at school.
Trying to figure out where the opioids came from.
One family speaking out after their kindergartner OD'd. Rittner leaders now responding.
Stormy patterns. There are rain chances right into next week, and tonight we're tracking the potential for a few strong storms Saturday.
But first tonight, more calls for action from pro-Palestinian protesters. The tense moments that kicked off today's demonstration outside Washington University. We want to thank you for joining us at 10. I'm Brent Solomon. Kelly Jackson is off tonight. Just 90 minutes ago, an hours-long pro-Palestinian protest near Forest Park came to an end. But not before protesters shut down intersections, blocked off ramps near I-64 and Skinker, and an altercation with a driver who tried to drive through the crowd. 5 on Your Side's Robert Townsend was there for it all. He's live now from that scene with a recap. Robert.
Hey there, Brent. Right now, all is quiet and back to normal out here in this neighborhood. But let me tell you this, earlier tonight, loud protesters packed the streets. The huge crowd of pro-Palestine protesters first marched from Forest Park down Skinker to Forest Park Parkway. They held a variety of signs and chanted "Free Palestine" every step of the way. They immediately shut down the intersection, huddled in a circle, and stopped dozens of drivers. Several frustrated drivers made U-turns and quickly crossed over the median to get out of the traffic jam. One man actually drove through the crowd. Demonstrators rushed to stop him. When he got out of his car, a fight broke out. The guy hopped back into his car and then drove to the opposite side where police stopped him. Protesters then kept marching down Skinker, shutting down every intersection before finally making their way to I-64 and shutting down the east and westbound ramps at Skinker. The demonstrators told us more about their clash with the one driver and their demands.
He tried to run people over, and he got out and started like punching and swinging at everyone, and then he hopped back into his car and then tried to run more people over on his way out. It was very terrifying.
Were you guys ever violent?
No, never. I never. Being violent isn't going to solve anything.
More than anything, they're asking for a permanent and total ceasefire. I mean, that's only the right thing to do.
I'm proud of every single one of these young people who've come out to exercise the First Amendment right.
Police said they did not see any other problems besides that fight. Right now, they have not told us if anybody was actually hurt during that wild brawl. We're live near Forest Park. I'm Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
All right, Robert, thank you. Tonight, the Anti-Defamation League is reacting to the ongoing protests nationwide. The group says while many protesters are against the war, it is concerned that some are voicing anti-Israel ideology.
We're distinguishing between people who are actively anti-Zionist, who are discriminating against Jews because of their support of Israel, or advocating that somehow the Jewish state does not have a right to exist, versus somebody who wants to be critical of war, Israeli government policy, certain political parties or leaders, which is different.
Another pro-Palestinian protest is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon on the SIUE campus. Let's go ahead and get to your weather now. A nice night to enjoy a game at the ballpark. But the Weather First team is already tracking our next round of severe weather. Chief Meteorologist Scott Cano now with a look at the forecast.
You know, the potential for severe weather tomorrow is somewhat limited across the area for sure, Brent. It's certainly quiet tonight, but especially between 2 and 7 o'clock, we'll have a chance for a few thunderstorms, a few of the scattered storms, to actually grow strong enough to produce some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, or maybe some hail up to the size of nickels and quarters. We're not looking at widespread severe weather tomorrow. Clouds have rolled out this evening. New dense fog advisory was just issued from Mount Vernon down to Perryville and then into southeast Missouri and southern portions of Illinois, but not including St. Louis. There's what's going to happen with our showers and thunderstorms for tomorrow. They'll be falling apart tonight as they push on to the east, and by early tomorrow morning, as they enter mid-Missouri, they're tending to weaken. But as they approach St. Louis with that front during the afternoon, and as we heat up during the afternoon and evening hours from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, we will see scattered thunderstorms across the area. Again, not expecting widespread severe weather as we head into tomorrow, but a very limited threat for your afternoon. And the storms don't last more than an hour or two. Then more showers will arrive just in time for Sunday evening. It's an unsettled pattern that's going to continue into next week, Brent.
All right, Scott, we'll see you in just a bit. New tonight, a local family demanding answers after they say their kindergartner overdosed in class. The student is in the Rittner School District. 5 on your side's Annie Krall joining us in studio. Annie, what is that family telling you?
Brent, attorney Ben Tobin represents the 5-year-old and his family. Tobin says his young client was at Marion Elementary School last Friday when he slumped over and passed out while the boy was revived with Narcan. The family wants to know why this happened in the first place.
Trying to figure out where the opioids came from.
That's the question attorney Ben Tobin is now working to answer, as his kindergartner client remains groggy from what Tobin says was an opioid overdose. A medical emergency at Marion Elementary School last Friday. When we asked the Rittner School District about the incident, they sent us this letter that went out to parents on the day it happened, saying, quote, recently we've had reports of elementary age students becoming sick after consuming unknown substances and items they believe to be candy, but they were possibly laced with unknown drugs. Tobin emphasizing that no opioids were in the child's house. His clients wanting to remain anonymous. We've seen the word candy used in the letter from the school. Was this something you were surprised to see when you were first contacted by the family?
It was obviously given to him, or he obtained the opioid at school from somebody or somewhere. So whether it's, making sure the playground is free and clear of, sharp objects as well as, potential drugs or hazardous things to students.
The letter also telling families that although the students became ill at the time, they have reportedly made a full recovery. Also pointing to concerns about a growing national trend of unknown substances being found at schools. Tobin sharing the boy hasn't gone back to school in a week and may not at all, depending on how safe his parents feel he is, along with his 2 other siblings at Marion. The district recommends parents talk with their children about not accepting any unknown substances at school. If they do come in contact with something they're worried about, they should tell a teacher or school administrator. They can also call the district's anonymous safe line 24/7 at 314-493-6205. Brent?
Annie Krall reporting tonight. New tonight, the Missouri State Auditor expected to announce an important development in the ongoing audit of the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office. Scott Fitzpatrick's office first audited the circuit attorney in June of 2021 after the St. Louis Board of Aldermen requested a citywide audit. But Kim Gardner's administration blocked requests for documents. After her resignation last year, interim circuit attorney Gabe Gore has cooperated. Fitzpatrick will hold a news conference Monday afternoon. 5 on Your Side will have coverage on air, online, and on the 5 on Your Side app. Now to that massive show of support for a fallen Marine from St. Charles County. Sergeant Colin Arsalanbus died in a training exercise last month. Just hours ago, his remains arrived at Lambert Airport before traveling down I-70 to a funeral home in St. Charles. As 5 on Your Side's Megan Kernan reports, hundreds of people lined the highway to pay their respects.
Hundreds of people gathered on this overpass as the remains of Sergeant Colin Arsalanbus were escorted from St. Louis Lambert Airport all the way to Bowie Cave Springs in St. Charles.
We're out here to pay our respect and support the family of this fallen Marine.
People lined up all along the route. They waved, honked, saluted, and paused to thank the Marine for his service.
It's emotional seeing so many people come together for someone we don't know and just respect his service.
Amy Lampley's son is a Marine stationed in Camp Lejeune, the same place where Arsalanbus died after a parachute accident in April.
This is their life, it's life and death, and there is a risk. So we all appreciate his service. I took my son out of school today to make sure he was here to be a part.
Arsalanbus graduated from Fort Zumwalt West High School in 2019. The Honor Guard led his procession, filled with hundreds of vehicles. As a mother of a Marine, Lampley understands the risk that comes with serving our country.
It keeps me up at night. I couldn't imagine.
This Vietnam War veteran, Harold Anderson, knows firsthand about the sacrifice. He says it was tough hearing about Arsalanbus' accident.
It's really sad. Accidents happen. It's unfortunate that it happened the way it did, but that's a risk that you take when you're in the military.
In honor of Sergeant Arsalanbus, just like the Marine Corps motto goes, always faithful.
Semper Fi, Marines, always faithful.
Reporting in St. Charles County, Megan Kernan, 5 on your side.
After that procession, the family held a private funeral service and burial. Governor Mike Parson ordered all flags in the state to be flown at half-staff tomorrow. An uncertain future for teachers. A little-known law robbing educators of retirement benefits.
What am I supposed to do? I wasn't counting on losing that much.
The I-Team on how the law works and what's being done to get teachers their full pension.
Shot up in the earth, I don't know, maybe 12, 15 feet.
A water main break sending water into the sky and all over the street. Why it's not an easy fix.
Storms tonight firing over the plains. Some of that has an impact on our weather for tomorrow. As we head into next week, the big changes coming our way from these systems in the Pacific. We're tracking in just minutes.